Hey everybody, I am on a journey with the Mod Devices Mod Duo. Let's check it out. The Mod Duo is not a huge pedal. It's about the same size as a Strymon Timeline or a Strymon Big Sky. It's got stereo ins and outs that you would probably expect. It's got a headphone output. On the back, it's got MIDI in and out, like old school MIDI in and out. It's got a USB port so that you can hook the Mod Duo up to a computer. It's also got another USB port so that you can hook up an external MIDI controller, like a keyboard or a switch controller, something like that. It also has two screens side by side. It has two knobs that you can assign to just about everything. And it also has two foot switches that, again, you can assign to just about everything. So you may be asking yourself, what the heck is the Mod Duo? And I like to think of it, after having had it for a few weeks, that it's a digital audio brain. So think about it that way, a digital audio brain. It does cab and amp simulations, of course, as you would expect for us guitarists. It has effects galore. It's got delays, reverbs, modulation, you name it, it's probably got it. It's got a bunch of synthesizer generators, and I mean real synthesizer generators, so that you can hook up a MIDI keyboard to the device and essentially play synthesizer with it. And the idea here is to combine your desired effects, simulators, and or keyboard generators, string it all together into an effects chain, and then save it as a pedal board. And then if you're in a recording situation or a live situation, you can recall these pedal boards at will and use them in your performance. All right, I've switched views to my computer, and you might be thinking, whoa, Bill, computer? And yeah, I've got the Mod Duo hooked up to my computer, and I'm using the Mod Duo's internal Pedalboard constructor interface. And that's right, you don't have to download any additional software to use this thing with your computer to have a very robust pedalboard editing interface. Basically, we've got inputs on the left-hand side, we've got outputs on the right-hand side. The input and output on the bottom are your MIDI in and outs. In between, you've got all the effects, generators, simulators that you might want to put there. So let's take a look at one. Here is a reverb. I'm going to go ahead and double click on it. That will make it larger so we can see it better. And you can see that this is a plate reverb effect. Now I can twiddle these knobs here, or I can click on this little cog to go into edit mode. And you see here I've got editing capabilities for all of the controls: low pass, decay, damping, mix. And you can essentially do that with any or all of these effects. Now, this particular pedal board sounds like this. It's called Surfing Dale. It's one of the presets that come with the pedal. And, you know, it's kind of cool. And the thing I haven't talked about yet are these purple lines, and these are the connectors. Let me go ahead and deconstruct this for a moment so you can kind of see what's going on. So if I grab this plug and remove it, check that out. I just removed the signal path from this stereo gain module that's at the very end, and now I got nothing. If I want to hook it up, I just simply grab a plug and put it into the jack of the next effect, and I should get something on one side now. All right, now if I hook up the other side, whoops, there we go. Now we're back to where we were. So this is pretty cool. Now, as you can see, you can hook up different pedals in multiple paths, which is pretty sweet. Now, this is a cabinet here. Let's say I wanted to hook this cabinet up in addition to going through the switch box and the doubler and the delay munge and the tap tremolo. Maybe I wanted another signal path to go directly to my reverb. You can kind of hear that I now have what was a dry signal, but it's basically the dry cab signal feeding into the reverb also. All right, so again, you might be asking yourself, oh, that's cool, Bill, but what's my limitations? How many effects can I hook together in all these different ways? Well, the answer is you just look in the lower right-hand corner. If you can see this, there's a CPU meter that measures the CPU power that the Mod Duo itself is using. And you pretty much you can add as many effects as you want and just throw them in there until you max out the CPU. Let me go ahead and throw a delay in here. And let me show you what I mean. See, the CPU just went up a little bit, not a whole lot. And let's go ahead and hook this delay up. Yeah, and I know this doesn't make a lot of sense. This is a delay after a reverb, but you'll get the picture. And then let me go and, blend, bring the blend up a little bit, and let's check that out. Yeah, so is your mind boggled like mine was the first time I looked at this? Whoa. So the effects that are available and generators, everything actually that can become part of your pedal board is all available at the bottom of the interface. And you can see that they're also helpfully divided into categories, delays, distortions, dynamics, etc. I can also go to a Pedalboard's library. And this shows me all the presets that came with the Mod Duo, plus any that I have created. And so if I go all the way up to the top here, I'm going to select a patch that I created called COO, Chords of Orion, Pitch 2. So let me go ahead and click on that. And now I'm going to load my own pedal board, and I'm going to walk through it for you. Here's what it sounds like. All right, so obviously that's a pitch shift patch. So let's just walk through it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the effects off here that I don't want, and let's listen to kind of the dry sound. All right, so that's your typical kind of dry sound. I've got a compressor lined up here, and let's bring that up. So attack, release, makeup gain, it's kind of your standard kind of small format compressor. So that's just providing some squish there. I'll come back to the super whammy. I've got a guitar amp module set up here, and let's check that out. This is pretty straightforward. GX Alembic, it's a clean guitar amp kind of sound, just got level, bass, mid, treble, that kind of thing. All right, next up is a cabinet, and it's a cabinet simulator. And basically, I've got this, it's called Modern Cabinets, and I've got 4 options here. You can kind of figure out what they are. I've got the Donger Ecstasy 4x12 dialed up, which I thought sounded kind of cool. All right. And then as we look further to the right, then I've got the cab going directly into a delay. And let me go ahead and turn that on. And this is kind of a nice delay, as you can see. Let me bring it a little bit closer here, a little bit more in the middle so you can see it better maybe. We've got tempo, and this is tap tempo, so we're doing, 146 BPM. And then we've got the divisions of left and right that you can split. So I'm doing a quarter and an eighth on the 2 sides, left and right, so we can get kind of something different going on for the stereo effect. Right? A nice, straightforward delay. All right, last up is this pitch shifter. So whoa, hey, well, that's interesting. Okay, let's check that out. That's a super whammy, and it's pretty straightforward. It basically raises or lowers the pitch of your guitar. And, if you've got an expression pedal, you can assign an expression pedal to this whammy slider here and just have fun doing your whammy kind of thing, right? But I'm just using it for a straight pitch shift. So I'm adding the clean signal in, that's that toggle clean, and I've got it set to 7 semitones above, which is a perfect fifth. So, and here's what it sounds like. All right, and then on this whammy effect, let me go into the editing here. There's a fidelity option. You can go for lo-fi, medium, high, or hi-fi. I immediately went for hi-fi because one of the things I really care about is clean polyphonic pitch shifting. And I wanted to see how it would do. The answer is it does pretty good. It's not perfect. You can hear some artifacts in more complex chords. That major seventh there, right? But that is pretty dang good compared to a lot of other pitch shifters. And I would include the HX Stomp and the Headrush Pedalboard and the TC Electronic Brainwave even. And one of the things I like about the pitch shifter is the shifted pitch is not super harsh. Now, what about the CPU power needed for this combination? I think when I went for the pitch shift, I went right for one of the more demanding effects. So if you look at the CPU power, we're running at about 78%. And if I turn off the super whammy, check that out, we go down to 28%. So, yeah, if you're going to do pitch shifting like I like to do it, you're going to have to be careful with the pedal board that you set up. All right, let's check out one more pedal board real quick. I'm using the same compressor, amp, and cab as the last pedal board, but I eliminated the pitch shifting effect, and I added in a chorus flanger and 3 delays. And I was really pleased with this pedal board. I was wondering if there was enough CPU power for multiple delay units, and yeah, there is. And you can see what I'm doing is going through the chorus flanger and then feeding equally the stereo signal into each delay. So these are delays running in parallel, and then combining them all into one stereo output. Here's what it sounds like. I like that a lot. And we're running at about 35% CPU. So I could get more delays in there. Now, those of you who've been hanging out here know that I'm a big Alan Holdsworth fan. And I've got one of those old school Yamaha UD Stomp delay units that has 8 delay lines. And guess what I'm thinking? Oh yeah, I'm going to throw in another delay, and that will give me, since they're all stereo, that will give me my 8 delay lines, and then I can set them all up separately. I am definitely going to try that, but this is a really nice, clean, beautiful sounding patch, I think. All right, last thing I want to show you real quickly is the plugin store. So if you're looking for an effect and it's not on your Mod Duo, you can head on over to the plugin store and just look for stuff. You can see here we've got 19 delays, 43 distortions, 13 dynamics, all these categories worth of effects and signal generators. So what do I think about the Mod Duo? Well, I think that I'm only scratching the surface of what it can do. To be honest, I've been sitting on this for a couple of weeks because I wanted to make sure I had a chance to work with it enough to understand some of its possibilities. So this pedal on its own perhaps is not the best option for live use. I mean, you can assign these foot switches to anything you wish, right? So if I want to turn effects on and off or switch pedal boards, whatever I might want to do, I can do that. Also, the knobs are assignable, but there's only 2 knobs and 2 switches. So I think for me, where I'm going to go next is combine the Mod Duo with the Mellow Audio MIDI Commander that I demoed recently. And I'm really excited about putting these two together and creating a pedal board that is able to be controlled by many switches, right? So by 8 or even 10 switches. So I really have granular control over the pedal board. And I also want to get an expression pedal hooked up to this thing so I can experiment with its, in particular, volume control capabilities. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. This is Chords of Orion. I am Bill Vencil. I've got ambient guitar-related content coming each and every week, and I'll see all of you on the next video.